Hello students, welcome to this virtual English lessons produced by Center for Education and Human Resource Development. Today, I'm going to teach a lesson from graded English book. Before I begin the topic, I would like to take you to a situation, okay? A situation at your home. You have so many jobs to do, right? You are doing so many things. You have to support your parents. You have to keep your rooms clean. You have to do homeworks, and you must respect the elders and love juniors. All right? These are the situations. What kind of situations are these? Can you guess? Well, students, I'll help you to understand it better with the help of an example text from your book. Let's study it before we get our point. What are they exactly? Let's see the text. I'll read it for you, okay? There are advice from a doctor. Let's see, a study time from your book. A doctor says to his patient, as your temperature is rising, you must have an injection every day. You mustn't drink any alcohol until you have finished your tablets. And you must stay indoors for at least 3 days. After that, you can go out for short walks. But you mustn't do anything too energetic. If there is any pain in your back, you must lie flat on your back. To save yourself from heavy dehydration, you must drink 5 liters of water a day. Things will improve very soon. And in this case, you needn't stay in the hospital anymore. You have to be polite with other patients in this world, and you should always follow my advice. Okay, here are other similar jobs to do by a patient, as you did at your home, right? At your home, when there are certain, dangers outside, you mustn't go outside. When you are sick, you should take medicine. These are the similar situations here the patient is going to do or expected to do, right? What kind of situations are these? What these sentences mean or what they express? Can you guess? Okay, all right. I think you have got the right answer in your mind. I can say that. Let me make it clear what you have in your mind. Okay, let's see. All right, students, here are some underlined words: must, mustn't, and should, needn't. These are the words that express certain things. What do you think are these? Are these some kind of necessities, obligations? Yes, students. These are called the rules and regulations under the words of obligations and modals. Let me write the topic of today's lesson: rules and regulations, right? Rules and regulations. All right, students, you are going to practice making rules and regulations today with me. You are going to create your rules and regulations with some techniques or with the help of some words. The words you can see on the screen are called modal verbs or the modal auxiliary verbs. Before going into that modal verbs, let me just take out some of the rules that we just studied here. They were the past must have an injection every day is there. And another is you must not drink any alcohol. The patient mustn't drink alcohol. Okay. Let me only list few of the rules mentioned there. I'd like to choose one of the last one. The patient should always follow doctor's advice. Okay, like we talked before, there are words that are making the sentences obligatory. These words are called modals in English, modal verbs or modal auxiliary verbs. Let me write them individually and let's talk about their meanings. Okay, I'd like to write must here. And another is have to. The next one, I'd like to write should. Okay, these are called auxiliary verbs in English. Modal auxiliary verbs in English. There are 24 auxiliary verbs in English and they are categorized into different types. Some are be verbs, some are have verbs, some are do verbs, and these are called the modal verbs. Right, students? All right. Okay, let me explain the meanings of them. Okay, must and have to. Both are obligations. They express obligations in English. All right, let's put it in between because they both have the same meaning. And another meaning of these two obligatory modal verbs are that they express strong advice. If someone uses must, then it is necessary, very important to do something that someone has said. Okay, while someone is using must in their sentence, there is no choice than doing that thing. All right? Another is simply it's necessary to do something. Did you get the meanings? Must and have to have obligations, strong advice, choice, and necessary to do something. Well, students, we have another modal verb, should here. What does it mean then? Why we are separating it? Because it has a slight different meaning. Okay? Let me show you its meaning here. It's simply an opinion. It's not obligation. you give someone your ideas, your opinions, that it would be better if you do that, like that. And when someone says you should do that, you have a choice. You should, or you may not do that thing. And it's an advice to someone, not strong, but simply an advice to do something. For example, you can say, you should go to Pokhara. It is beautiful. If someone says, it's his or her opinion, and you may go to Pokhara or not. It's your choice. But if someone says, you must visit me today, if someone is saying this, you have to, it is obligation. It is strong advice. You have no choice, and you have to visit the person, because otherwise there will be some situations you have to face. Well, students, these are the meanings of these modals here. Now let me talk about its tense as well. Okay, let me take it out first to create a space here. Well, you have understood the meanings of those modals in English. Now let me make some changes to its grammar. Okay, let's change it into negative first. Negative of must is mustn't, and negative of have to is don't have to, and negative of should is shouldn't. When we add negative here or not here, these modals become negative obligations. All right? Besides this one, okay? Here is a little difference in the negative between have to and must, because if you say don't have to, it shows no obligation, all right? But mustn't is a negative obligation. If someone says you mustn't go to school, if someone says you mustn't go to school, then you are not expected to go to school, okay? But if someone says you don't have to go to school, then it's no obligation. You don't need to go to school. You have choice to stay in your home. But you can, if you like, go to school as well. So there is a choice and no obligation. But in the first one, you have no choice not to go to school. All right? Do you get it? Well, and shouldn't is also the same. You have negative obligation. You shouldn't go to school means it's better not to go to school. That is another negative advice to someone. Okay, now let's see its tense. How do we look at its tense then? If we change it into past tense of these modals, you can say, if someone says I must go, then you can say I had to go. Okay, if someone say I must go, if you want to say it in past tense, then you can say I had to go, or he had to go. Okay, and In another case, you can say, I didn't have to go. I didn't have to go. Okay, in the case of have to, you can say that I didn't have to go. You add did here with not here, and for should there is no past tense there. Okay, well, students, these are the grammar behind these modals. All right. Now let's practice how we create rules and regulations then with the help of these modal verbs. Okay, so let's practice them. They are structures. I'll show you. Before that, let me clear the board. Okay, students, here is a table. I have a short activity to create some structures of rules and regulations through these modal verbs. All right? If you have pen and paper with you, you can create such table and produce rules and regulations for your house, for your home, or your school. Here, I have chosen a topic of zoo. For zoo, I have a list of verbs, animals, and there are modal verbs, certain modal verbs, which we discussed. In a sentence, you have subjects in the beginning, and then comes modal verbs, and the main verbs and objects. All right? Objects are simply, you can understand, as names that comes after verbs, or subject has some impact on those nouns. Okay, let me create or let me produce the rules and regulations from this table. All right? Here are subject. You can match them. You must tease or you mustn't. What do you think? You think you must tease animals? No. In the zoo, you have animals, food, children, tickets, or any nouns you like. And the possible verbs can be tease. Someone may tease animals while going in the zoo. Okay? But you have to understand, are these good things or bad things? If they are bad things, you are saying you mustn't, right? So with you mustn't, with tease, you should use mustn't tease animals. Let me write here. Okay? You mustn't tease animals. Here is another verb, feed. You can say, can you feed animals in the zoo? I think you are not expected to feed animals, right? Then you should say, you mustn't feed animals in the zoo. We are talking about zoo here. And another rule can be, you have to take care of children. Let's match the verbs and the subject like this. You have to take care of the children. All right, students, are you getting me? Are you able to see those rules here? You can create your own If you add more verbs here, you can make more rules, like I have added buy here with the tickets. If you put lose here, you can say you must not, or you must not lose tickets, right? Okay, let me write the last one. You should buy tickets before entering the zoo. Okay, these are some examples I drew out from the table. Likewise, you can create similar table with other subjects, topics. For example, I took zoo here. If you take hospital there, then you can add objects that we mentioned in the zoo, like there are animals. In the hospital, you have patients and doctors, nurse, you have ward, you have medicine. And with those verbs, you can say that with the medicine, you can use the verb like take, then you say you must take medicine regularly. And likewise, you can say that with the doctor, you should be patient with the doctors, or with the treatment, and so many other possibilities are there. So you can apply these rules or these structures to create rules and regulations in your day-to-day life. All right, students. Now let me show you another text from your textbook. We have already talked about these modals, and here are the list of those modals. In this passage given above, the words must, have to, and should or ought to express obligations. We use these words to say when things are necessary, that certain things are to be done. The negative of must is mustn't, which means you can't do something as a rule. It is harmful. The negative of have to is don't have to, which means it is not necessary to do. All right, students. Now, you must have been clear about these modal verbs and their structure, their meaning. Now, I think you can apply it in the sentences. Then can you imagine what I talked in the beginning? Right? You support your family, you do homeworks, you clean surroundings, you respect elders. Okay, if you add these modal verbs before, I should support my parents, I must help my brothers and sisters, and I must respect my parents, I have to clean the surroundings, then it becomes the rules for your house, right? These are the structures we have been practicing, right? Okay, now there is another question in your book, Activate Yourself, that you have to create advices to a patient as a doctor. The question asks you to give advices using these modal verbs. Can you do that? It is for you. For your, practice. Can you create such advices like we read here? Yes, you can. You can say that as a doctor to a patient, you must take the medicines regularly. You must take care of your health. You have to follow up the doctor, or you have to be you have to take rest, or you should follow the advice, and so on. These are the things that you can express with the help of these modals. These are the questions and solutions you can do. Now let's see another activity, or sorry, exercise from your book here. Complete the sentences using appropriate modal verbs from the alternatives. Okay, I guess you already have the right answer in your mind. I will show you what you are thinking, right? Students, look at the screen. Look on the screen, please. Here are the answers. Students, wear school uniform. Must wear or mustn't? Yes, definitely must. Must. And children play in the mud. Should they or shouldn't they? What do you think? They shouldn't, right? Okay. All right. Shouldn't play in the mud, right? And Sunita and her brother don't have to get up early on Saturdays. Here we use don't have to, right? Okay, let's try guessing what is there. When we cut down one tree, we should plant two trees in its place, or shouldn't? What do you think? Okay, definitely we should. And if you are suffering from common cold, you have common cold drink, or you don't. What do you think? You must or mustn't? You mustn't, because you are already sick and cold drinks will make even worse. Your health will be even worse. Okay, this is the solution to your exercise from the book. Now, another task is given to you to do under create yourself. Okay, create your own rules and regulations using a must, should, and have to for your school. Can you do that now? You think it's easier now, right? Don't you? Yes. With the help of these modals, you definitely can produce the rules and regulations. Here are some examples given in your book. Okay, I'll read it for you before writing. Here are the rules and regulations given to you. Visitors mustn't give food to the animals. Visitors are not allowed to litter in the garden. Visitors mustn't smoke within the zoo premises. Poking at the animals is strictly prohibited. Well, students, these are some negative obligations here. You can use other varieties as well. You can use them as well. And I have more other examples for you to help to make your rules and regulations more creative. I have taken it from outsource. Let me read it to you. It's library rules from 1968. Okay, it's taken from some other source, so let's read it. Library rules: you must present your card in order to take out books. Definitely we should show our library card. We must show. You can take out only 6 books at a time. You are allowed to take 6 books. Books must be returned within 2 weeks. There are certain dates for taking or keeping books with you. Some books can be renewed and taken out again if no one else is waiting for them. You can renew the books taken, or increase the length of time of keeping the books with yourself. Another is some books can be reserved or saved for a certain time if the borrower makes a special request. Here is the facility of book reservation. Borrowers are the person who takes books if they do not return books on time will be fined. Borrowers who damage books will be fined. Another is borrowers who lose books will have to pay for them. Okay, some reference books such as the large dictionary may not be taken out of the library. Some books are very huge and they are not possible to take out, so it is not allowed to be taken. And library users must speak quietly so as not to disturb others. All right, students, these are the rules and regulations. Varieties are there. You can create your own rules and regulations with those models and some other models as we have seen here. There are other modal verbs as well. I'll give you some clues here. You can use can. I'll add some more modals here. Can, will, may. Okay. You say, if someone says that you should carry a library card then you can use can instead of should there, or you will carry a library card with you, or you may carry a library card here. Okay, you can use any one of them, but the degree of obligation is different there. Some are maybe it is possible, or some are it is allowed, and some will say it is better, some will say it will be fine, or it is necessary. So you can use any of other modal verb as well. So I think this is good for you to understand other models and to give a variety in your lessons. All right, students, I think you are now able to produce your own rules and regulations for your schools, right? This is the last task for you. This is the homework for you in our book, that you should create a set of rules and regulations for your school. Please do it at your home, produce and show it to your teachers. Thank you very much. This is the end. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and learned some of the ways to create rules and regulations. Thank you very much for your patience. See you on next episode. Thank you.